I've answered this question more than one time with paying clients, people who have paid well over $5,000, $7,000, even above $10,000. I want to give you the solution, but I also have to incorporate a bit of context to make sure that it makes sense for you based on your current situation, potentially even your niche. Let's dive in. Your ideal client getting a certain type of outcome or result, and the niche that you serve or industry that you are part of will impact the duration of time or ideal length in which you have a trajectory, the time frame that you spend working with that type of client. Now, you want to consider or think about, are my clients advanced or are they beginners at the start of their journey? The easiest way to identify that is to assess if whoever it is that you're helping solve problems for, if they already have basic foundations. If they do, then a program that is, let's say, 8 months or 12 months or 24 months might be unnecessary, especially if whatever it is that you're helping people to achieve as a desired outcome or a result or transformation, if you're able to deliver that in less than 12 weeks. Why would you want to give them the impression that it takes longer? Now, a 12-month time frame, this is something that's typically common for a mastermind, quality, experience, or some form of a one-to-one, right? And that's because the time horizon usually in those scenarios for goal setting is going to be much longer. The thing to keep in mind is that in a mastermind, often there are other elements to the deliverables that are incorporated in the experience, like events or team building, systems, infrastructure, placement, SOPs, and the list goes on. And these things may require a longer turnaround time and or might be more suitable for somebody who is a bit further ahead in their journey, who has that infrastructure or the extra hands to be able to install these components. What I would encourage that you would ask yourself, if you are somebody who is struggling with deciding, should my program be 8 weeks or should the coaching container or program or course or whatever it is be 6 months or a year or something different, go based on the data and truly align that with what is absolutely necessary and going to benefit your ideal client. Because whatever your marketing says, 100% should and needs to be congruent with whatever it is that's incorporated in your offer, the outcome that you are in fact selling. Now, what I have found is at this point, after coaching well over 800 or so individuals, clients from various niches and industries and at different experience levels, about a fourth of them were in fact starters. It's a word I tend to apply now to somebody who is at the start of their journey. You might even call them a beginner. This type of person has skill or an expertise. They just don't quite know all of the right decisions in the right order that are necessary. For what do they need to focus or prioritize? Now, what my experience has taught me, the data and my own empirical evidence, is that these starters, individuals at the beginning of their journey, oftentimes tend to pay for courses without coaching, or rely very heavily on YouTube, or let's say a podcast, or something like that, where it is them by themselves. It's a very done on your own, at your self-paced type of experience. And unfortunately, that's not enough often, which leads to why they don't get results. This also tends to happen when these same individuals end up getting sold into some form of a 12-month program. It seems like the value is much higher than what the price was because of the added time. So I can't blame them because I was once there. And also it's human nature. It's very easy for us to convince ourselves we have time. I have time. There's more time. Unfortunately, the opposite is true. We tend to have less time than we think we do. And with these starters, people at the beginning of their journey, the catch-22 is that they will usually need more time to achieve results. But beginner clients almost never recognize exactly how the delayed impact costs them. So the lack of coaching, the lack of accountability, the lack of systemization, the lack of team building, these assets that they can leverage to their benefit, how it's impacting their ability to grow and scale. Now, my thought process would look something like this. And so I'll frame it for you the way I would for a prospect. If I ended up telling you, I'm going to give you the keys to a Ferrari, but you have to wait 6 or 12 months, which would you choose and why? And the reason why this is an excellent analogy is because it's a wonderful reframe on the time horizon where we're inserting something that is hard to get. It has limited accessibility. Not everybody has access or can achieve that, right? So not everybody's able to make $100K per month. Not everybody's able to grow a 7-figure business for various reasons, other than the obvious, doing the work. You can relate this back to your niche or some other more exclusive item if you're not a fan of a Ferrari. But you get the point, because people have a desire for something special that's important to them. And they want it to happen now. We want instant gratification. So what does this really have to do with how long should my program be? Well, it has everything in the world to do with your avatar and your ideal client. Think about how long is it actually going to take for them to get results, right? And how fast can you, in fact, deliver those results? Because at the end of the day, that's the name of the game. Can you move as swiftly as possible to ensure that your ideal client is getting results, whether that is for their bank account, for their health and wellness, or for them to go from being single to not, right? Those things are no different. And nobody in their right mind is going to choose, especially if it's something that they truly want and need, nobody in their right mind is going to say, well, it's fine, I'll just wait the 12 months. No, they're going to say, I want it now, especially if they need it immediately. If they've been in pain and they, are aching for that solution. So when we bring the analogy back to should my program be 6 months, 4 months, 12 months, etc., you offering whatever duration of time as a trajectory will encourage both parties, you and whoever it is that is paying you the high ticket price, to invest into your program, for the both of you to move efficiently and rapidly in the direction of success, whatever that tangibly or quantifiably looks like. And in the end, it benefits the client ultimately. You as well, but it's for the client's betterment. If you ever end up getting pushback from someone who tells you in response to your program being 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 4 months, etc., as opposed to 12 months, well, let's say they're telling you, I want to go with this other program that's 12 months in duration. Don't lose heart. You need to uncover and understand why are they saying that. So, a way to probe and get the correct intel could be as simple as asking this question. That's not a problem name. What is in that 12-month program, XYZ, that you really love and you're worried you won't have when you join us with XYZ? And go from there. And ultimately, if this person is giving you that same pushback or that same, insertion of doubt, this is something that you absolutely can turn ultimately into a piece of content for yourself. Now, when that person ends up joining your program, and let's say your program is 4 weeks or 4 months or whatever duration of time, for you to build on the lifetime value and maximize that for that client that you are working with, once you end up getting to the destination together or the outcome that you both have agreed to, there will be certain elements that still on their journey are problems that need to be solved. Additional components that you can likely deliver on a new transformation, a new result. And sell that person on that back-end offer or that continuation program. we do want to build on the lifetime value and maximize that for our ideal client and any future prospects ultimately that are in our pipeline as early on as possible in the relationship, day zero and beyond. Because this is a segue to mention not only identity, but what other offers, if you have more than one, or products, services that you provide to your ideal clients, and creating the format for qualification for whoever it is that you're talking to. So an example of that would look something like the way I'm about to model here. I appreciate you sharing that with me, name, because our team only collaborates or invites ambitious agency owners to my mastermind XYZ. And I think that you could be a fit for that when the time comes. Once you join us and you're scaling past 50K per month or whatever result they mention, we are going to be able to serve you in, and then you name the backend program. So that tells this individual, when you're here, which we're going to get to together, then you're going to be ready for this other thing, whatever else that is that you provide. And as for continuation offers, you can always aim for a renewal at the 6-month mark or whatever the end of duration of time is in your trajectory. And price point wise, you can make the investment about 20 to 40% off or lowered from the original rate that your clients had paid you, right? And this conversation should occur with that client, whoever it is that you're working with, before their graduation date, before you offboard them, or before their end of getting service and support comes. Now, normally the ideal time frame should be that you have been following up along the way throughout their journey, but ideally it's like 30 to 45 days before that time frame that they are all done with the container or all done with that coaching program. So now your emphasis becomes, at that point, what comes next? What's the ongoing goal? And the easier it becomes for you to kind of paint that picture of telling the future for that person and how you see this as a long-term, long-lasting relationship, the easier it's going to be for that person to identify, can I see myself working with you for that length of time? Do I want to get to XYZ goal and beyond? And more often than not, you're going to find that this person would end up indicating, yeah, absolutely. So it becomes about what are they working on right now? What will they be working on in the future? And then how you're solving that together, how you keep working together toward that in this trajectory, right? In this time frame. So it's not, the issue becomes not so much, should my program be 6 months or 12 months or 18 months or 24 months, but instead, how can I maximize or capitalize on the lifetime value of the person that I'm working with, and how can I collect as much of that upfront as possible? Okay, so then this ends up coinciding ultimately with how long does it take my average client to get a result or a return on investment of some kind, and how can I continue serving that client?